This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
One of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Cram?
Dog.
Oh, Sean, the Super Bowl's here.
Super Bowl, yeah. Super Bowl, yeah. Go Birds! Eagles are in the Super Bowl already. Already collecting a bunch of receipts and hate being tossed the Eagles' way. Cannot wait for the Super Bowl. But we got about 5 Super Bowl episodes between now and the Super, maybe even 6. Who knows? Pre-game show as well. There's still a lot of action to be had. Going to be talking some college basketball picks with the pick expert himself, the host of the College Experience, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, joining us on the line. What's happening, Colby?
There will be no NFL slander because I want you to enjoy your celebration. I have a whiskey here for you, buddy. Congrats on beating the C words.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, C words went down. Felt pretty good about it. Ryan, it was very congratulatory. Sean, you were right. Eagles, a great team, and yeah, looking forward to the Super Bowl. College basketball, though.
Why would I have to say that you were right? One of us locked up the Eagles for the last couple of weeks.
I locked them up last couple of weeks as well.
The whole playoffs, you were locking them up.
You said last couple, so I locked him up. I did not lock him up in the wild card round. I was worried I was
scared.
I was worried I was going to jinx him. Yeah, and then
now he's celebrating an NFC championship like it's the Super Bowl.
No, the celebration for the Super Bowl will be much bigger, and it will include me reading Inner Excellence, a great. I mean, Colby, I don't know if these videos made their way onto your feed, but there were Eagles fans climbing the poles down in downtown Philly, and they were up there reading copies of Inner Excellence all time. That is a great fan base. To everyone, the media tried to make this a distraction, and the fan base, the players, the coaches leaning into it. Just great times. Unfortunately, though, yeah.
Well, no, I saw a video of a guy shooting a gun up in the air. That was fantastic. I did that when I did that when I went to Columbia. I didn't know we could do that in the States.
But that was another country thing. But yeah, apparently, hey, fire off the gun in the air. Yeah, I remember that was always a question on when I worked on Ridiculousness, that clip show back in the day. We would always, there's like a lot of celebrations in the Middle East. These like oil rich countries where they have like crazy weddings. These dudes just come out with AK-47s and fire them off into the air. And
one of the all-time great.
I did that in Colombia.
Yeah.
Well, when there's it's like some sort of celebration and the guy is clearly drunk and he starts. It's like the guy who's wasted and starts dancing by himself, but that guy has a gun and he's just shooting it up in the air. And you can tell everyone's like cool, but also a little on edge. It reminded me of that Eagles crowd. Because everyone was like, "What the fuck was that?" A little bit on edge, but then they're like, "Who cares?"
Yeah, whatever. He's a fellow Eagles fan, but MTV would never let us. They were very hesitant about letting us use gun clips. There was also like someone figured out a way to rig a drone and that it could fire guns, and they were like, "No, this is going to give our audience too many ideas." So we tried to really push the limits on that.
And remember, don't try this at home.
Yeah, no, they had a pretty hilarious warning. We got we got to talk about nice little run there from last show. Let's see. Looking at the Discord, aka fading our consensus picks, went 2-5. So
Finally,
our consensus picks were 5-2. Colby 9-5. I was 10-4. Kramer 8-6. But everyone went 2-1 with their locks. Kramer hit his money line dog.
you guys are in trouble.
mean, my
I'm
dog.
I'm already dominating with locks, and my lasers are still tuned for the NFL. You guys are in trouble.
Well, and Colby, South Carolina on the money line. That was a crazy finish. And even my Xavier, I gave out a Xavier South Carolina money line parlay, which I know Xavier almost blew the cover there at the end, but they were winning for a good portion of the game. But the South Carolina, they were only losing those last 2 seconds of the game, right?
Yeah, the entire game had a double-digit lead for like 90% of that game. Florida makes a run in the final minutes. Even with that, South Carolina had a 6-point lead with a minute left and lost by 1. Didn't go to overtime. Unreal. Unreal.
Can't win them all, Colby.
I was about to say, where was the snorkel for a second? I thought you were going to work the circular saw Buzz Williams style. Just with those top glasses.
And Kramer, hasn't already touted his amazing Houston pick. Never in doubt there going into Kansas.
Unbelievable.
I was talking to Colby before the show.
Well, that was from the VEASAN show, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was on the VEASAN show, or did we? Oh, you're right. Sorry. Yeah.
Game.
I confuse it with the podcast.
Well, it was an obvious.
No, he hit A&M on this show though, and A&M had no business winning that game.
Okay, that's your opinion. It was a great, once again, well-coached teams sometimes maximize the juice they're able to squeeze out of the fruit.
We did hit our Cal Stanford parlay. That was a nice little juice there.
Can we remember? Let's make sure we start doing this with these ACC matchups every time,
or just any sort of crazy travel spot with these conference realignments. We got to get on those, but just real quick on that Kansas, which we did give out Friday night on the VEASAN show. Kansas was up 6 with like a minute 10, blew that, but then to be up 6 with 19 seconds left at the line, they're ridiculous. At the line. I went to the bathroom to take a leak. I thought I was already imagining what anytime touchdowns I was going to use that money with on my mybookie.ag account, and then I come back and I'm like, what the fuck happened? How you cannot inbound the ball when you're? I understand if
those
you're.
Those are always so frustrating.
I understand if
multiple times too. Multiple times.
Multiple times.
If it's one time, you're like, okay, I didn't have a play. We'll call it timeout. They had an overtime period to do something different on this inbounds pass. Someone comes set a pick, pretend like you've been here before. Oh my God. But Stanford and Cal, that parlay hit. I love those hippies up there.
Hippie Olympics. Doesn't matter who wins because they're all losers.
Is that that's from PCU, right?
Yeah.
So per
Classic.
KenPom, Houston had a 0.4% chance to win when Kansas had the ball and a 6-point lead with 20 seconds remaining in the first overtime. That makes Houston's eventual win the most unlikely in any of the 1,487 games between AP top 25 teams over the past 15 seasons.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
The previous record was, interestingly enough, the previous record was 0.5%, which Kansas faced when trailing by 14 with 2:58 to play against West Virginia. In 2017, February 13th. Colby might remember that game.
I do remember it. Yeah. That was a crazy. Like they basically stole that game. West Virginia was the better team the whole day.
Wild that they were involved in both.
We're always we've been riding some Vanderbilt play again. That was I think on the VEASAN show. Yeah. I see in the chat Braden saying Vandy 1-5 and then like 4 zeros to win the SEC. Eyes emoji. Colby, do you have any Vandy futures in the portfolio?
I have I have A&M, and that was to me coming into the season great value. But Vandy, I'll tell you what, man, Mark Byington, he is exactly like Cignetti. Whoever the athletic director was at JMU was absolutely on fire with his hirings over the past decade, because Cignetti and Byington just coming right in and dominating. Look, and Vandy, what I saw something that they've stormed the court/field the most out of any SEC team. They're building a crazy fan base with this shit too, man.
They did. They were on Storm Watch. Stormed.
This is a fun trivia question for you, Sean. I think we might have even talked about this on the show before, but what is Vanderbilt's student enrollment?
Oh man, I really don't know. I would just guess 15,000 total guess though.
It's a pretty close guess. That's about. I think they're total around 15,000. A couple different numbers here, but undergrad is half of that. So a lot of
a lot of grad students. All right, wow.
So impressive to have. I guess the point being impressive to have that many.
All right. Yeah, let's get into it. Before we do, shout to new sponsor, Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the premier Visa debit card for bettors. We've all had that experience of having the card decline. You're trying to reload. Oh man, I got to get in, or maybe you were going to get in live on that Kansas. Probably a bad example, but maybe you were going to get in on Houston. You thought they had a shot. You wanted to get in with some live action. Oh no, my card's getting declined. Super annoying. Edge Boost is great because you avoid the hassle of getting denied. Sportsbook, DFS, sweepstakes sites. I know people play a lot. Racetrack, casino, and Ryan, you know me. I love my rewards, my cash back. You can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. Best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. So do us do us a solid. Sign up. You're gonna like it. Use the promo code SGPN. So you get the better cashback rewards and the instant tier 2 status. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. They already got the Super Bowl props up. We're using some of their numbers here for college basketball. Get in over at mybookie.ag. Love the prop builder. They also have the live dealer, the casino, customers from a ton of places worldwide. And of course, easy deposit, easy withdrawal with that sweet cryptocurrency. Sure, I'm going to be getting down on some Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown over at mybookie.ag for the Super Bowl. Head over there, use the promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
All right. I suppose we're here to talk about college basketball.
That sounds right.
I just want to note that Saturday was awesome. That Houston Kansas game, like Saturday,
there was a bunch of great games. Yeah,
every game I felt like was fantastic, and I felt like March Madness to me. It was just March Madness doesn't get the environments that see. A lot of people talk shit about the regular season in college basketball. You watch this past Saturday, to me, it was hard to top. It was just like every game was in lit environments. The Ed Cooley effect there at Providence. I mean,
that sign that I sent to our group chat where it was you know how they do like the acrostic with like COOLEY and they spell out something. They had one for Cooley and it was C was cheated and then O was on wife, and then they didn't bother filling out the rest of it. It was just such a sick burn. I was dying laughing. But to your point, Colby, college basketball picked a great Saturday to have an awesome slate of games and outcomes because no NFL playoff football, obviously college football done. So most college basketball I've watched was all season so far was on that Saturday. Had God's eye fired up, watching a ton of games, soaking it all in, and it was awesome action.
I couldn't agree more. It's almost like this was a pre-produced segment where. It was such a great day in college basketball, and Colby was gracious enough to join us on VSiN.
Yes,
missing the beginning part of the college basketball experience, episode 4, the amazing Saturday slate. Unfortunately, there were some folks out there like Andy Bice who weren't able to enjoy the preview podcast for this glorious day of college basketball. Unclear as to why. Colby, care to comment?
I'm confused. What happened here?
You didn't release the podcast audio on Saturday.
No. We did a long show. We had a lot of fun, but it's 154 games, right? And then also we got flagged for the MASH song, so I think that had something to do with it too. We played a clip. You remember? You guys might remember Kyle Filipowski lost a leg in Winston-Salem last season. And
finished the memorial yet?
We were playing homage to that him fighting for his life there in Winston-Salem. So we went to go play that video and got flagged. But yeah, we had a hard time with the audio upload there. I just thought it was us being flagged, to tell you the truth. I thought it was us, but we adapted and overcame. We released 2 different versions of that on the interwebs. So
Colby's gonna be like it's gonna be like Pink Floyd or something. Like, oh wait, did you get the college experience on vinyl? Yeah, it was a rare misprint. It has
got that hidden track.
Yeah, it had. If you play it backwards, you can hear the MASH soundtrack that they got thrown off YouTube for. It's a collector's edition. I'm surprised Colby isn't releasing podcasts in vinyl. I mean, he is such a hipster with his sports takes, Ryan.
And my vinyl collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, can we press, guys? I know it's a little expensive, but Sean, come on, press some of these episodes to vinyl.
All joking aside, I'm gonna look into what it would take to get a podcast episode on vinyl, because it would be funny to have some of our classic episodes. Maybe it's a Patreon thing. I don't know.
You get track 1 is Colby going yes. I mean, there's a lot to work with here. Yeah, you can include it. Maybe your Eagles rant from 2017.
Oh yeah, we got some great gems in there. All right, let's get to it. Kramer, what's the first game?
So, all right, I just wanted to see if Colby had any empathy towards the newspaper crowd. Doesn't care about them. Only cares about the young people who understand
millennials
video.
who know how to use YouTube.
Do you know how to listen to video, Sean?
No, I don't.
I don't know how to listen to video. Look at this guy. Colby,
you got to stay in your lane. Also, I think that's a good way to find out who the real ones are.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
switch it up. Call an audible.
Well, I'm seeing the agenda now of the college experience, focusing only on the YouTube channel, and then congratulating themselves when the YouTube channel does well. You see this, Sean?
I did see this.
I'm on, just letting everyone know I'm on.
Yeah, I had a big party for it here, 15K. Let me tell you, we rented a warehouse. We were doing. Release. We had a DJ. We had thanks. I check the credit card statements. I ordered some moon rocks. Yeah, it was a good time.
Well, Kramer, I was looking at
gotta be between Colby's hatred of self-congratulatory stuff and Noah's young person need to congratulate himself.
Noah did jump out of a big cake. I don't know if we have the video. We can track it down. But I looked at the credit card statement. I said giant novelty cake.
Oh, wow.
And apparently he jumped out of it dressed as Baby New Year with the subscriber count. And it was a big treat. So shout out to Colby and the gang.
Yeah, I'm sure his nipples were involved in the writing at some point. St. John's taking on which, by the way, if you didn't check out the VSiN show, maybe the hardest we're ever going to hit a handicap of a spot, that Georgetown Providence game.
Oh, so
Georgetown
easy.
Now back at home taking on, I didn't actually check these locations, so I'll say allegedly back at home to take on St. John's. Patino and the boys laying 4.5.
You know, Patino's definitely had a stripper jump out of a birthday cake too, just like Under Siege.
Oh yeah,
right. That's happened, right?
He's more of a diner guy, so it's probably like a giant club sandwich or something. Some other diner food by him.
And DC is the ultimate in terms of quietly being able to get service, if you know what I mean. So I wonder how focused Patino will be on this excursion.
A lot of distractions
down to the hill. Well, I mean, it's all I'd imagine. I mean, Sean, we were in Vegas every Friday. Yeah. We understand. We see when the A team's coming in on the flight from LA. I can only imagine the access Patino has to these senator and House of Representative level whoars. I mean, this is not
Top
Radford.
notch.
This is not Radford. Anyway, Any bounce back opportunity here for Ed Cooley and the boys?
I don't think so. I think this is I mean, Slick quietly, guys. Can we as a collective get a little future on St. John's to say make a deep run into March, maybe Final Four, maybe national championship? I don't know. Final Four? Can we do Final Four future?
Let's see what I'll pull them up as you're talking.
But yeah, to Colby's point, St. John's, his defense travels. Georgetown, I don't know if this is a bounce back. I feel like that game rattled this team, and I don't know, Dream Crusher. I do feel like it's going to set them back a little bit. Just look at St. John's defense. I think is huge. That I think Georgetown's going to have trouble putting up offense and hanging in this game. I would be really surprised. I mean, I like a good home dog here, but or in general, but I think this is a tough spot for them. Colby, how do you see it? I can't really make a case for Georgetown here.
I just love the coaching advantage there, especially coming off a big emotional game where they did try to get up. Georgetown had a big lead in that first half. But and then you look at what the Johnnies can do rebounding the ball. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the nation. I think that'll be a huge advantage for them aside from their defense. Georgetown's young and inexperienced. That's never good against a Rick Pitino team. So I will take the Hoyas. I will take the Johnnies. I think the Hoyas though have a bright future though. I do think Cooley's got them on the right track, but the Johnnies are the spot right now. I'll lay it. Another thing, it's at Capital One Arena. Not sure how lit it will be. Like I feel like Cooley's starting to get DC back on board with Georgetown. But I don't know at the Wizards.
The Bullets play?
Yeah, the Bullets. Yeah, there. Thank you. Yeah, I just don't know if it'll be complete sellout in Georgetown's favor. They've had some zeros there. So,
Sean, how is it all the teams from where Colby grew up changed their names? It seems like some weird
George Washington Colonials go to the fucking. Could go to the fucking what are they now? The Revolutionaries. And even better is the Wizards. They went from the Bullets because they thought, hey, people are making a connection between these terrible. Those Bullets teams were terrible. LeBradford Smith was shooting threes. They're making the connection that's why the murder rate was so high. It had nothing to do with Marion Barry doing crack and prostitution. But. And then they go with the name Wizards, which, what's the leader of the KKK? Oh, the Grand Wizard. Funny.
Do you know why
Wizards have killed?
Do you know why they're called the Bullets?
They were the Baltimore Bullets.
Do you know why they were called the Baltimore Bullets?
No.
They were named because they were nearby an ammunition foundry.
Oh, okay.
Before that, they were the Chicago Packers and the Chicago Zephyrs. So learn something new every day. You can't take Georgetown here. They're not even playing at home, like Colby said. That who do you think is going to have the crowd here? Slick Rick has at least a front row of ladies watching, if not more. This is going to be one of those fake home crowd situations. So lay it.
Lay the points with St.
And
John.
Ever since I accepted my fate and said I'm not playing enough chalk. Back to
Georgetown
mini heater.
Enjoy it, Discord.
Wake Forest, Louisville, in Louisville, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, -7.5 for Louisville. How we feeling about Louisville, Colby?
They've won 9 straight. I was on them against SMU as they went into Dallas and blew them out. And I think the bigger thing is Wake Forest is off the Duke game. Obviously, we were talking about the Filipowski massacre from a year ago. But I tend to think like it's a letdown spot. They were in a position to win that game. They let it go. Now they travel to Louisville. I'm going to keep taking these Cards. They're red hot. So give me a 10th straight win. Lay it with the Cards.
Obvious letdown spot
for Louisville.
No.
Oh, for Wake Forest. Yeah. No, you got to take Louisville here at home. To Colby's point, they've been hot. What's the case for Wake, Colby? Is there a case for Wake? What do we miss?
Well, I mean, they're 15-5. I mean, Forbes is in a make or break year. I feel like if they don't make the tournament, he's going to get fired. Louisville is a team that I guess coming into the season, we weren't sure how good they'd be. They're ahead of schedule. So I thought early on that they did lack consistency. So maybe, they have an off game, resort to what they did before, and Wake plays the way that they should have been playing over the, they were going to make the tournament last year. Remember they beat Duke in that game. That's why they stormed. And then they lost a few games to some really bad opponents. I think Boston College got them right after that game. So if Wake can put it together, they have a talented team. It's just they're always. I don't like them on the road too, and especially after the Duke game, because that's a game you circle coming in there. And I think Louisville is rolling.
Just fading them off the Duke game. That's probably all you need. So Louisville.
You don't often see
7.5.
Yeah, Ken Pom has 10 for what it's worth. So perhaps something else going on there. Also, St. John's 55-1 out at Circa. If we wanted to pick up a paper ticket to win the Natty. Now, Sean, you do in general. I feel like we find that the prices don't often move that much between, now and the tournament time. So, but it could be fun to have a paper ticket
for St. John's.
Yeah, 55-1. Kentucky heads to Knoxville, Tennessee, 4 p.m. here on the West Coast to take on Rick Barnes and the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee laying 8.5. Boy, the shine's really off this Kentucky program. I mean, they used to be a blue. Are they even? Do they even get to call themselves a blue blood anymore?
Purple now.
Yeah. Dead blood. Colby.
Look, we were on Vandy the other night. They stormed the court. Tennessee was beating Auburn for a good portion of that game.
Hell of a game.
I think it's a get right spot for Tennessee. This is like a mini rivalry too. I know it's not there. Like Louisville, Kentucky is the main rivalry for Kentucky. Tennessee, has a few different rivals, but Bama would be the one that jumps up. I think Kentucky is kind of their secondary rivalry. They're undefeated at home. They're 11-0. Meanwhile, Kentucky's 1-3 on the road. I think that's all you need to know right there. But really, I like the bounce back spot for Tennessee more so because of this home atmosphere in a rivalry game. So I will lay that number. I think they're going to win by double digits.
Kramer, what are you doing? Because I'm thinking of taking Kentucky here.
Oh, absolutely not.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can't trust this new situation. I can't trust that Kentucky's even. And this is classic Rick Barnes recruiting Rick Barnes. I mean, this is a big game out on the lot. He's got to move some numbers. It's not Calipari anymore, so he's not going to be challenged from the greaseball standpoint. I'm telling you, this Tennessee team. I'm locked in. Every time I watch them, I'm like, I'm betting on this team come March. So I'm going to
take Kentucky. I think because of the humiliating loss to the nerds at Vandy, they're going to make this at least a game. To Colby's point, it is a rivalry game. Tennessee's coming off a loss, but that was against Auburn. Kentucky has to feel a little bit of heat. I think 8.5 is too much. Give me Kentucky.
Let me help you. Tennessee is going to slow the game down.
Okay.
Kentucky's not going to win that pace battle.
All right.
Period.
8.5's a lot.
I'm
sticking with Kentucky.
I know ball. All right. My lasers are getting focused. I did watch a little college basketball this weekend while I was putting together some IKEA furniture.
Sounds fun.
No. God, did I make a fucking grave mistake on Saturday?
No. What was your grave mistake?
Going to IKEA,
having an opinion on anything that led us to the end of the road, which was IKEA. My God, South Carolina, the Gamecocks heading down to Athens, Georgia to take on my Bulldogs in Blue Cane. 4 p.m. on the West Coast, Georgia -8. Someone slid into my DMs and said, "Why do you like Blue Cane and the Georgia Bulldogs so much?" And I said, "I have no idea. I think I just watched them play for a little bit, and it just happened." So
and the name is fire. Come on, Blue Cane sounds like it sounds like the next great Atlanta rapper.
Well, it's like, and I don't mean to take a quick aside, but it's like when I was watching college basketball out at the Cirque on Friday night last week, and Bowling Green was on, and I see what is maybe one of the most beautiful basketball players I've ever seen in my life, Marcus Johnson. Sean, this guy he's like who was the fat guy from NC State last year, Colby? DJ Burns.
Yes.
If DJ Burns was somehow more looked like a rec league player who is playing way below the rim, giant, you can't move him. He moves everyone on the court. He can shoot a 3, I'm telling you, Sean, you got to watch a little Bowling Green basketball. Anyway, that's the answer to the question. I think I saw him, and much like many of the players we fall in love with, like Kelly LePepe, it's mostly about how they look or their name. So Blue Cane's the man. I'm taking Georgia.
46 threes on the season for Marcus Johnson.
Oh, I mean, this guy.
Big dog.
I'm telling you, Sean. Have you seen this guy?
I'm Googling him right now.
Hold on,
yeah, pull up his get his photo on the screen, Kramer.
And look, his profile will say like 265 or 270 or something. I guarantee you he's 300.
Pushing 3 bills.
6'7", I think 6'6", 6'7". It's basically DJ Burns. It's DJ Burns, but DJ Burns didn't shoot threes like this dude. So the only problem is the team's not very good.
Colby, are you gonna take Georgia here, laying the 8?
You know, I actually think I got to take Carolina here. Georgia seems to be all over the place. Carolina has been. I mean, how many 1-point games can you lose or like one possession games in the conference?
Lost to Mississippi State in OT, lost to Florida by 1, lost to Vandy by 3, lost to Auburn by 3. Like they just lose close games.
They're a good team. It's just they just can't close. They can't close games.
Oh, it's a big guy.
All right, so check this. This is actually a video. The still shots don't do it right. Don't do it justice.
YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast.
It's like it's not working well at all. Or maybe it just sucks.
That went in.
This is horrible.
It's like 8-bit.
All
right.
Well, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to
it. I'm with Colby. I'm taking South Carolina here in the 8. I know Kramer just loves yelling Blue Cane, but other than that, Georgia, I don't think necessarily deserves to be an 8-point favorite against anyone, really. So South Carolina, pretty good team here. 8, way too high.
What? Craig, you guys are crazy.
No, we're not. That's a perfectly reasonable, logical handicap.
Yeah, that's fine. You haven't watched my Georgia Bulldog play. Notice I said singular Bulldog because it's all about Blue Cane, baby. VCU, not really. Actually, he's not a huge part of the team. He's kind of part of the team. I mean, he's out there, but he's not the most important part of the team. VCU St. Louis. We were having a hard time getting a number on this one before the game for some reason, but we phoned the Dalai Lama himself, and he got us a good number. We're St. Louis, Missouri, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. VCU laying 5. Sean, Colby, what's the? This is kind of a weird road spot for these teams heading out to the Midwest. What's the take here?
Well, the take is, I mean, St. Louis has actually been great at home this year. Remember, they basically took over like Indiana State from a season ago with your boy Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Salt Frazier.
Yeah,
he's now at St. Louis, leading them in scoring and rebounding. 18 points per game and I think like 7 boards. He's there. They got Jemerson, Isaiah Swope. They've been dinged up a little bit, so these guys have missed games. But VCU is on a big winning streak here. I think they put the kibosh on that. St. Louis veteran team. They're just gelling together. I think now. I know they just lost at G-Dub, but this place has been rocking. I think they're 10-1 at home at this stadium. So VCU, you tend to like to fade them on the road. I know they're still 3-2 on the road this year. What's his name? Odom's got them really playing good ball, top 10 defensively in the nation. But I think the stats are all off on St. Louis because they've had so many different injuries. But they're coming together as a team. Give me the Billikens plus the points.
And remember, Billikens just some strange good luck charm.
Are we worried about how bad St. Louis is? 1-4 ATS, hasn't been good ATS at home. Are we worried about that aspect at all? That maybe VCU just puts it on them, Colby?
Well, I think, like I said, I think some of that was injuries. Kellen Thames was out for a while. Swope missed some games. Salt Frazier missed some games. So I mean, they just haven't really been all together. So they're cohesive.
I'm with you, Sean.
Let's go.
I'm with you, Sean.
What are you taking VCU? I'm going to go VCU. Laying the 5.
Now, if the defense doesn't travel and they look like shit because they're on the road, well, you have to say I told you so to Colby. But it does seem like maybe we have a shot here.
I just think the numbers for St. Louis are all off because they've had so many injuries. They don't.
Fair.
So, yeah,
it's fair. UCF traveling to the aforementioned Kansas, who was part of a bit of a thriller there against Houston. -13 Kansas at home here in Lawrence, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. I assume this is like a ragdoll game.
Well, considering they played on January 5th in Orlando and Kansas had just lost to West Virginia and Kansas won by, was it 51 points?
Let's see. Yep. 51 to be exact.
I'll, bad life's all about timing.
Yeah.
Bad timing for UCF to go to the Fog after Kansas loses a game that's,
double overtime. We're not worried about that.
No, these are kids. They weren't running around that much. They couldn't even get the inbounds in. I think if I'm pissed at that loss, I could only imagine the kids actually playing in that game.
Oh,
UCF on the road. This is a brutal situation for them. So I think they're just going to destroy UCF. So lay the big number all day.
We could be, it could be donkey play because of that double overtime. Maybe a little tired, but I
don't know. Watching that game, I don't get the sense they're gassed. They've had enough time to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm with you. Discord gets one.
Discord on the board here with the UCF. Oh, Discord has a disgusting card so far. UCF, Wake Forest, Georgetown.
Yeah, parlay all those together, losers. 5 p.m. heading to St. Bonaventure, New York. Wait, didn't we looked this up and I was scolded on the internet. Olean is the name of the city, Colby, I believe.
Leanne. What? Good old Leanne gave someone a hard time.
You didn't. I said. I pronounced it horribly. No one corrected me. I got DMs about it. Like
I just call it Bonaventure, New York.
You care so much about Louisville. Maybe give a shit about Olean. So much so the guy actually sent me an audio recording to make sure I got it right. The Bonnies are catching 2 points at home here, Colby.
No. Dayton's starting to come into form. They did blow a cover somehow the other day, but they still won the game. Road against Duquesne, the Bet Detectives alma mater. Duquesne was coming in red hot, and Dayton beat them by 20 at their place. Dayton, they had that tough spell where they lost a couple games back to back, or I think 3 in a row. But overall, if you throw that out, this team is, I think, the most talented team in the conference. Going on the road to the Bonnies. The Bonnies, I know they're 8-2 at home, but Dayton is well traveled. They were in that preseason tournament in Maui. I thought played really well in that, despite not winning it. Give me the Flyers. I think they're the better team. I think they're the more physical team. They make you work for every possession.
I'm going St. Bonnie's here. They have been good at home here. ATS 6-3, and I don't think you can give this team a
I'd like to
home.
Zoom into that trend though. I feel like they started very hot.
Okay, I'm just saying home team.
Weren't they in an insane ATS heater, Colby?
Yeah, they were one of the last undefeated teams too. I believe.
Now they're cold as shit. I'm with Colby.
They've been a home dog once this season and they covered. They're going to do it again. Give me St. Bonnie's.
All right. Someone's going to give you, hopefully someone gives you shit for saying, give me St. Bonnie's. I hope
your boy Woj is their GM.
Yeah.
St. Bonaventure. Let's go.
Yeah.
That he's having a good start he was having a good start to his career. Sounds like he's enjoying living the college life, brought his wife though.
Yeah, that's a killer to the on-campus experience. Bringing a wife. Hey, have you signed up with Underdog Fantasy yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Head to underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN. Get in there, get that sweet deposit bonus up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We get some college hoops here. Colby, anything you like for the old college basketball pick'em? What are we doing here?
Yeah, I will pick ones for tomorrow's action, which they just added a bunch while we were talking because I checked pre-episode. Nice. Let's go to the likes of the BYU Baylor game at the Super Soaker. We're going to be talking about this game in a little bit. It's on our sheet, but I think This is a good spot. But BYU went and hired an NBA coach. They're kind of a soft. This is going to be a high scoring game. I think both teams will be able to get theirs. Give me VJ Edgecombe higher than 17.5 points. Both teams, like I said, not known for their defense. So give me that as one play. For the other play, Colorado's terrible. They had a deep run in the tournament, or somewhat deep run for Colorado standards a year ago. Their whole team graduated / transferred. Eddie Lampkin's at Syracuse. 3 other players drafted in the NBA draft.
Get Dion coaching.
They need to. They need to
get some recruits.
Yeah, you should be able to, right? I'm gonna take the boys in the desert. I think they Arizona State. They're heading to Boulder, but Adam Miller, give me the higher on 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists as they go to Boulder. I think Arizona State's going to win that game, and I also think Colorado's just not there yet as a team. So their defense has been as trash as it's been in probably 5-6 years. So load up. Let's go.
VJ Edgecombe higher 17.5 points, and Adam Miller higher 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Get in over at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Also, friendly reminder, I'm rocking the SGPN Let It Ride hat. Colby's got the college experience hat on. Kramer's not a fan of any of our merch, but Kramer, maybe you should grab some. Use that promo code Big Game, 15% off everything between now and the big game kicking off. So,
well, my show you my TD shirt is in the wash. So when that's clean, I'll be sure to come in again. And a lot of feedback on that one, positive and negative. All right, do you? I'm gonna show. Let's see if we can look at this guy one more time.
And shout out to Christopher in the chat. Say there's a bunch of whores in Olean.
No, nice.
And I can't tell what it is, but his YouTube profile is a screenshot of some sort of parlay. I'm assuming he is.
All right, let's see.
I love that.
Here we go. Yes.
No, here's your
Look
big
at this
man.
guy. Look at him. I mean, how we weren't informed about this guy sooner, Sean? He's a guy that would just terrorize you in the YMs. Like he's gonna dominate rec leagues
because you would have no idea he'd be good. He'd be like picked third. Just dominated. YouTube.com.
Well, he's playing outside the 3-point line. This guy, I mean, look how big he is compared to these other players. They can't, they're too wide. Look at this. You can't guard this man. You cannot guard. How are they bad, Colby?
I
look at this guy.
He's
Bowling Green. He's like Dimitri Hill. Do you remember Dimitri Hill back in the 90s for Florida?
He's got sick post up game. Look at this. This is everything I want in a college bat. Oh, look at that spin move. Look at that.
Great find.
I mean, it's excellent because they can't guard him.
No, it's a very
He's
tough
unguardable.
Guard.
He's an unguardable college basketball player who has 0% chance of playing in the. Look how low he is. He doesn't even touch. Can he touch the net?
Not much vertical there.
I don't know if he can touch the net.
This is a great watch.
I'm telling you, we're gonna start watching Bowling Green. Oh, look at that!
Look at that! The lulls you to sleep. Yeah,
the slippery noodle. Come on. All right, let's get back to it. I know Sean.
They could win the MAC tournament.
Only likes to stick to bit. Can they?
I mean,
yes.
It's the MAC. Anything can happen.
Right. Anything can happen, especially when you get a guy like that. That's what happened with DJ Burns. It's almost the same story. Minnesota heading down to East Lansing. Always know that Minnesota not as good away from the barn. 5 p.m. here on the West Coast against Michigan State, laying the 13 for the Spartans. Colby.
Yeah, this is a tricky one because you got Minnesota who's red hot. They've stormed the barn 2 out of 3 games on this 3-game win streak. And then you have Michigan State. Izzo was 4-12 in Madison Square Garden. They go there, they cover. And Michigan State is just this freight train. They've won 12 straight games. That's another one we should take a future on to get to the Final Four. What are the odds on that? Man, I just
right now.
I know it's going to be the chalky side. What's the number again? It was what 12?
13. That's just too high for
I
this.
think it's too high too. I think it's too high too. Give me Minnesota. Like Sparty wins by 10, something like that.
Yeah, they keep it a 2 touchdown game here. I to your point, like Minnesota's playing lights out. Maybe it's a letdown spot, but
Michigan State 40-1 to win the Natty. I do not have Final Four odds in front of me.
that just seems 13 points for a Michigan State team. They're awesome. Maybe they're looking a little bit ahead. They have a big road trip to LA.
We do have bet splits.
Maybe looking a little bit ahead past Minnesota, perchance. I just think 13 is.
It's not as chalky as you think. 62% on Michigan State. That seems honestly based. If you are a bet splits person, I'll do a little PSA here. If you like to look at the bet splits,
yeah,
and you're looking early, the side that has more action is probably the side that's moving the number, and you're probably right. This early, like we see how much these numbers move overnight in college basketball. So yeah, I don't think we have to be afraid of being chalky here. Oh wait, no, you're saying that you're Michigan State would be the chalky side, so you're taking Minnesota here.
I am.
Colby.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not as chalky as it looks. Give me Michigan State. Marquette heading to Indy, take on Butler. 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Marquette looking good. -8 here. Who did we just watch Marquette beat? Was it Villanova?
Seton Hall.
Seton Hall.
Yeah.
And they did just beat Villanova.
It was the Villanova game. That was
Villanova was Friday.
Yeah, at the Surf.
I thought the last time we called on the show though was the Seton Hall game.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, no, I was just talking about my life going to the Circa once a week and watching tons of glorious basketball on that screen. What Marquette laying a big number here on the road, Colby.
Yeah, no, I don't like laying double digits with Shaka Smart. And look, Butler's a lot like South Carolina in the SEC. I know you see the record and see 9-11, but man, have they just destroyed DePaul? What they lost in overtime at UConn, lost by 4 to Creighton, lost by single digits to St. John's in the game. They blew a lead. I feel like they're just a lot better than their record. They lost by 10 when they were in Milwaukee against Marquette earlier this season at Hinkle Fieldhouse. I'll load up on Butler and the points here.
Yeah, I love this. Butler catching the points. This game should be like 6.5, 6 points, 5.5. Butler's been great as a dog. 7-4 ATS. You put them at home there. Make Marquette travel. Shaka on the road is a big favorite. Never liked that spot. A lot of reasons to be on Butler here. Love the spot. Give me Butler.
They've only lost once ATS as a home dog. I mean, not a huge sample size.
2-1, but 8-4 AT or 7-4 ATS is a dog.
No, this is in the black book. Don't lay a big number with Shaka. Not smart. Baylor. Ooh, this is an interesting dichotomy of collegiate institutions and what they're cool with. Baylor heads to Provo, Utah, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. BYU laying 3.5. Yeah. If you mixed Baylor and BYU, you'd get a good force to soak. I went down a rabbit hole. The soaking's very weird. That's all I have to say about that. It's just a very strange thing, and it doesn't really seem to exist anymore. More of a traditional thing, but the people that talk about the existence of it and what they do, very weird.
This pussy generation these days. Back when we could soak, it was everything that was great about America.
Yeah. Sew me to a fucking bed. Get me in there. Let's make a mess.
Crack it up. Can of soap.
I mean, can't even get you just locked in here. Anyway, BYU laying 3.5. Sean's got the elevation prepped, I'm sure. But if he doesn't, always a tough road spot going up here to BYU. Colby, why? First of all, it will be lit. But tell us why BYU laying the points is the move.
Nah, it's a super soaker. They do play ball like kind of a pussy style of ball, but I don't know that it will cost them here. First off, Langston Love and Jeremy Roach are game time decisions for Baylor. It's kind of important news. And then you add in that this is the second of a back-to-back. They were out in Salt Lake City taking on Utah the other night. They looked good in that game against Utah, put it on Utah. No way they do the clean sweep of the Utah teams. BYU at home, much tougher environment, much better basketball team. So give me BYU to handle business there.
Think they stayed in Utah?
What, they go to Vegas? Vegas? You think
I'm
they hit
just
Circa?
hopefully Scott Drew and the boys were able to find a cocktail or two. Here's my handicap of this. I love BYU now. Ever since I realized that Mark Pope is a fraud, dead bloods down there in Kentucky. I'm all in on BYU.
So yeah, they already beat Utah Saturday night. Maybe feeling themselves. You go to that Utah BYU. Oh wait, when did they play Utah?
No, Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, that's 3 days. You ever been there? You got to call a restaurant ahead of time to see if they serve alcohol.
No, they probably did stay out there because if they're playing BYU coming up, or sorry, if they're playing BYU,
whole team from Baylor. You read the news clippings about what the Baylor program has been into before.
No, this is
different
Baylor,
culture up here in Utah.
Baylor is not covered yet as an underdog, so I think the market's telling you if they're a dog, you don't want any part of it. And BYU at home, I'm always going to be on there. Kramer, what are you doing?
Yeah. And these poor starved Baylor kids had to stay in Utah for 3 days. That's a punishment for a college kid. My God, I remember the first time I was out of college and went to Utah. The beer situation, you get that 3-2 beer. You get the social clubs where you got to like show your identification to make sure you're not breaking some Mormon rules. You got to call the restaurants ahead of time to make sure they serve food and alcohol. Oklahoma heading down to College Station. Damn, I love how Texas A&M's so good they always make the sheet. I'm sure it has nothing to do with my love, Buzz Williams. The Aggies are laying 8 at home. Do they do a parade before the basketball games too, Colby?
I think they do as much as they can. It's strangely like the Super Soaker, but lots of alcohol.
Well, I mean, you know that. And Buzz, of course, will be sharply dressed on the sideline. What we should start betting on what quarter what time in the game his jacket will come off. He does
have like a groomsman vibe. You know what I mean? Like a guy at the wedding. Just like he had like the 4th cocktail. He's sweating through it. He's going, I'll get back on the dance floor.
He's one of the people I've rooted for in my life that sweat profusely. He's probably only number 2 to Patrick Ewing.
I was just about to say, please don't put him above Patrick Ewing.
No, as a kid,
come on, it was God.
Honestly, I would put it up there with seeing like the Eiffel Tower in terms of modern marvels. The amount of sweat that was able to come off of Patrick as a kid going to the Garden and watching Patrick Ewing get followed around by one of the mop guys because it's like it's a sketch. The water would just be coming out of his body. It didn't,
dude.
Was Kramer talking about Patrick Ewing being in the Eiffel Tower? Did I miss something? What kind of childhood did you have?
Charles Oakley too.
No, Ewing's the only guy that wore knee pads, not for the actual knee injury, just for the fucking sweat dripping down.
Yeah, just so he was the middle of the Eiffel Tower. It was a really wide base. A&M laying 8 here, Colby. Obviously, after what Porter Moser did to Sister Jean, we can never forgive him. So we have to lay the points with Buzz. Although I would say if I wasn't madly in love with Buzz, I would tell you probably don't want to lay in a big number with Buzz.
No, he's like he's good as a dog, small favorite, not in a game.
Scrap.
Yeah, in scrappy situations, not in this. Oklahoma's great as a dog.
Did you see both games this past weekend? So Texas A&M
game, yeah.
Texas A&M blew like a 20-point lead against the Longhorns, lost at the buzzer. And then
I got to bring this up ever since. And shout out to Ken Palm, another graduate of the great university down there in Blacksburg. But you got to look at this fucking win probability, Sean.
Oh my God,
this is what happened. Poor Buzz, not well coached in this one.
No,
I mean it's like a near impossible. I mean, talk about
it's like a Wile E. Coyote. It like took an Acme rocket off the win probability cliff here.
Yeah. So I mean,
this is tough to get up and cover a big number like that after. So I think that's a dream crusher game. Oklahoma's been great as a dog. 8 points is way too much for this Texas A&M team. Colby?
No, but at the same time, this is Oklahoma just won at Arkansas in a very close game where they kind of stole the game too, like a great ending, I would say. an old Big 12 kind of rivalry thing too. So I actually think the Buzzsaw is going to get things figured out there. They've only lost once at home there. I like the Buzzsaw to roll against Porter Moser in Oklahoma.
Obviously. And then for reference, because this is a crazy graph, here was the historic Kansas one. If you're interested, look at that. Now this is, you don't see, this is the end of the overtime. Look at this.
That's insane.
I mean, yeah. And yeah, again, shout out to the new visualizations over here. Ken Palm doing great work. All right. Moving along. I know Colby's more of a Torvik guy because he likes the young people who like to listen to their video on YouTube. Notre Dame or North Carolina heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh. I was going to call them the Pirates. And then I'm like, no, they're the Penguins. Nope, they're actually the Panthers. -3.5.
I didn't realize all their in my head. It blew past me that Pittsburgh Penguins, Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, then the Steelers. They just said fuck that.
They were there first.
Can you show the graph of North Carolina's game against Boston College?
Yeah,
because they might be the luckiest team of all on Saturday.
Oh wow! Hold on.
Yeah, I mean this game was ridiculous.
Pulled out a 6-point victory against Boston College at home.
Just could not inbound the ball.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is it.
Look at that.
I mean,
that is crazy.
You don't see. This is not the kind of thing you see in professional sports usually. This is the beauty of college basketball. When's the last time you saw an NBA team not be able to inbound the ball?
No, it's pretty funny.
I mean, they can advance.
I mean,
so
I would be laughing
fair,
harder if it didn't cost me a bunch of money in the Kansas game.
Oh yeah,
but it was still.
But the NBA has that bullshit advance the court. Yeah.
It makes it nearly impossible. Okay.
So we should hammer Carolina.
Oh, you like Carolina?
Pitt's terrible. Let me tell you something. Pitt almost lost to Syracuse. A, that's a rivalry game, old Big East rivalry game. B, I don't think Syracuse is any good. Now, I know Carolina just struggled with Boston College, but I think everyone watched that. Everyone's going to be saying, "Hey, Carolina's ass this year." I think Pitt's. Give me Carolina to go on the road. I think sometimes you find that way to get that win like they did, which was ridiculous. They had no business winning that game against Boston College. I think you can ease back a little bit. I think they go out there, get that dub, and really, I do think they're the better team this year. So it's like, I get it. Carolina's not anything like they're not resembling any of those great teams that they've had in the past, but they're still better than Pitt. Give me these Tar Heels.
They got Duke on Saturday.
Oh shit! Yeah, I gotta take Pitt. Sorry, Colby.
Come on.
Look ahead spot. This is a sandwich spot if I ever saw one. And
have you seen Pitt?
Yeah. Again, Hubert Davis also. Just when's he getting fired?
This is a
When's Jeff Capel getting fired?
I'm with Kramer. This is a look ahead spot towards Duke. That's all I need.
Jeff Capel's also a bitch. But yeah, the Duke. Come on, the Duke look ahead. Cincinnati heading to Salt Lake. 2 games in Utah on 1 card, to take on the Utes. Utah laying a point here. Very long. These road trips of the Big 12 are excellent. The Big 12. I'm convinced the Big 12 covers the most ground, especially in like a basketball season. Definitely. I mean, it's like 4 corners. Colby, I assume we're laying the short number with Utah.
Yeah. No, actually, no.
What?
No, because you know what, man, their fan turnout's been a little iffy lately.
Oh,
really? What's happened?
I don't know what's going on in Utah, but I think Cincinnati, the fact that they've been out there for a few days, I just think Utah and Colorado are the worst 2 teams in this conference. I think Cincinnati's going to get them. Cincinnati's a little bit more physical than this Utah team. Give me the Bearcats to get that dub.
Utah horrible from the line, super dark red, 62%, but Cincinnati's not much better, 64%. I just don't. Utah, they can be bad, but I don't think they're losing back-to-back home games. Now you can maybe Cincinnati does it, but I'm gonna bet on Utah coming off a loss at home. I just don't think they lose back-to-back home games.
And for those who hate free throws, definitely don't watch a game coming up between Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Stephen F. Austin. These are the worst and third to worst teams in the country shooting free throws, and they actually play each other. I looked it up because I was like, wow, Cincinnati and Utah are both in the bottom 15, but it turns out Cincinnati's not even the second worst team in the Big 12. It's actually TCU. So learn something new every day.
Kramer, what do you know? Utah? They do have the minus. That's very appealing to you.
Generally that is appealing. I'm trying to, how many times have I taken a dog? 2 dogs? That's I think I probably want one more dog. Give me Cincinnati +1.
No,
don't have a strong take on this one. So I'm going to listen to our expert Colby. And if he's telling you a place isn't lit, it's not
that's
lit.
Bad time.
It's not lit. Oregon State, heading up to Spokane where Gonzaga takes on the Beavers. Hopefully Mark hasn't had a few. -13.5 for Gonzaga.
Nice Beaver.
Oh man, you know he was bringing his dogs back from the lake where he had just enjoyed some beaver. Different kind of beaver here, Colby. What are we doing?
A little dexterity.
We got to get this. We got to remember to play this sound drop more.
A little dexterity.
Colby, it's a big number, but are we laying it?
Yeah. They just played what an awesome game a week or two ago where Oregon State won outright in overtime. Oregon State's been ass on the road. They're 1-4 on the road this year. Gonzaga's 9-1 at home. And I think just the fact they won the game, they stormed the court in Corvallis.
Oh,
so
that's all you need to know.
I'm all over Gonzaga, which Gonzaga's got the third rated offense. It's just they haven't looked like a traditional Gonzaga team this year, but I think they put it to Oregon State there at the kennel. You don't just walk into the kennel. This place will be lit.
They had the game under control last time they played until the end of the game there. Speaking of these games where teams completely blow it and then lose in overtime, so
you're going Gonzaga, right?
I mean, are they laying points?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Of course, our lock and dog segment brought to you by Rhythm. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get in on your 7-day free trial to start building your own models with the Rhythm system. Great for NFL props. Very helpful this season. The NFL prop show going to be using a ton for the Super Bowl. Again, college basketball, NBA, they got it all. Buying time here while I pull up my Rhythm app, see what the old models are firing on here.
Enhance Marcus Johnson.
Okay,
that's no. I'm repeating his name. Bowling Green. Just early. He might be on my my All-American team this year. We should put that would actually be funny, Sean. We put out our what would it be? Is it what's their version of All Pro in college basketball? Like an All-American?
Yeah, John Wooden. John Wooden. Starting five.
Sean. We put out our starting five, and it's just the guy. Blue Cane's gonna be
cool names or weird dudes. Either way, I'm in.
Coach of the year, Buzz Williams.
Rhythm actually co-signing Kentucky.
Really?
They like Kentucky on the money line.
Wow.
They think it has a 27.4% win probability, according to my model. And so at +316, they like that price.
No.
So sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get over there and start building your models today. Kramer, what are you doing?
Your AI agreed with you there, not me and Colby.
Okay.
All right. Number one. I do have a lot of favorites here on the card. There are some obvious spots. I don't want to lay too big of a number. Give me Louisville. I'll ride the hot streak there. Give me St. John's. I like the idea of taking a little future on them. And the Duke look ahead spot strong, but Pittsburgh again, give me Gonzaga in the revenge spot. They completely blew that game. Mark had a few. He'll have them focused. Got to lay a big number.
And what do you got for your dog, Ryan?
For my dog, I have 3 options, and man, the Butler one. I'd imagine Colby will agree. This will be one we'll at least get a sweat out of. I think so. Give me Butler on the money line.
Butler on the money line. Butler actually getting 8 points is my first lock. Then give me BYU laying 3.5 there. I'll take Utah laying a point as well. I think just they're not a team that's going to lose back-to-back home games, and I'm with rhythm. Give me Kentucky on the money line. Let's go. Plus 316. Get it. Colby, what do you got?
Let's lock up the Johnnies. Minus 4.5 against these Hoyas.
Yeah, great pick.
So let's also lock up these Vols against Kentucky. Lay the 8.5.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. You guys want to do a fourth lock?
Sorry,
we
what
can
was
do
that?
that.
I was reading the chat.
Tennessee.
Oh,
And
Tennessee.
we've officially just added a fourth lock where I will be taking Tennessee minus the points.
There we go.
You
So
don't have to do a fourth lock if you don't want to, Sean, but I'm doing a fourth lock.
I will give my clientele a fourth lock.
Now we're doing a fourth lock. Colby, you've given out 2 of the now 4 locks. What do you got?
Let's also lock up Gonzaga minus the points.
Oh, great pick, Colby.
And Butler plus the 8.
Oh my God. I love it.
The money line, since he already took my money line, that prick bastard.
No, copy me. I don't care.
All right. I will copy you. Give me Butler money line.
Yes. Let's go.
And I'll add Kansas. How has no one locked up Kansas? That is a great spot as my bonus lock. So a lot of locks and some dogs here. Any parlays we want to throw out there?
I just realized
Butler,
the last time Colby doubled up with a lock and a money line, it lost. But that he's due.
He has hit some of these though.
He's due.
South Carolina was killer.
Parlay.
What about a little Slick Rick parlay? Huh?
Okay. St. John's and what else?
Where did he go before St. John's? He was at Louisville.
Oh, okay, yeah. St. John's, Louisville.
Done.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay,
let's go.
Done.
Nice and simple. Nothing too crazy.
Done.
Okay, St. John's minus 4.5 and Louisville minus 7.5. Make sure you hit up the merch store. Get some gear. Gear is very nice. Got a nice little get to the points mug. Pretty funny if you follow that show. Colby has a ton of stuff. The college experience gear.
These are IOUs. These are IOUs from the corporate card coming in for these hats.
Oh wow!
Right.
Look at this. This is
bunch of hats.
Borrowing a notebook from CJ over there.
That's what I'm saying.
The new DGen hats are really awesome. Make sure you check them out. Use the promo code Big Game. Get you 15% off everything in the merch store. Do it. You will not regret it. And of course, make sure to check out the college experience over on the old YouTube.
Drilled it.
Oh, there's just a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Well, yeah, I was. It's good that you took a little time. I was going to put this. We can go out on this. I was going to show you the.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to look up. The Colby's now reading a book. What do you got over there, Colby?
Well, I was up in my yard in the trees reading Touchdown Pass. It's just it's an old book from. It just goes through, the history of passing. Yeah. This. It's fantastic though. I highly encourage people to check out Touchdown Pass from 1948. It is it's a classic here. You even got some nice illustrations on this thing, and those DGen hats are fire. I know you told me to contact the right people to send out these DGen hats to me. Yeah. I just need to do that. I'm not good with talking to people online.
No, and I'm sure we can get some more color schemes.
Yeah,
if you want like an ECU.
There's a color out there, a color combo that you don't see in the merch store. Hit us up. We'll try and get it added if we can. So make sure to check it out. Promo code Big Game, Colby Dant and crew college experience. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Toss us a nice rating or review over on Apple Podcasts. Getting ready for the college basketball season, and of course, a bunch of Super Bowl stuff coming up. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Programming note: college basketball back on Thursday this week.
Kramer, let it ride.